We all wish for the perfect nanny. One that goes by the name of Marry Poppins would be even better. Bridget Elks thought exactly the same but never imagined hiring one would turn into such a nightmare. What was going on in the Elks household that made the family's nannies disappear? What mystery was hiding behind the camera's lens? Find out what Bridget discovered that changed her life for good. But before we start, smash the like button, subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so you never miss any of our upcoming stories. Bridget embraced a nanny into her family. At first, everything was going well until one day the nanny decided to quit. She left without giving a reasonable explanation. This didn't happen only once. Bridget had no less than 6 nannies leaving her and her children one after the other with no reason why. Bridget had to get to the bottom of this. To detail what she found, we have to go back to the beginning. Bridget's marriage was on the rocks. She decided to leave her husband and bring up her children alone. This was a hard decision to take, and reality was about to knock on her door. She was tired, and there was no way she could do everything on her own. Bridget was no abnormal mother. She couldn't cope with the day-to-day chores and she needed help. There was no choice but to keep her full-time job as she needed the money. Also, as the kids were growing, so were their demands. Elks found herself juggling between her career and being a mother, and knew that the only thing that could save her was an extra pair of hands. She had 2 beautiful children, 6-year-old Marie and 1-year-old Kirk. After looking for the perfect addition to their family, Bridget found Lisa and immediately knew that she was the one. Lisa was hired as the children's nanny, and Bridget could finally go back and focus on her career. Little did she know, Lisa would not last. Lisa became part of the family, and for the first time in a very long time, Bridget was at ease. However, Elks wasn't aware that things were about to change and that finding a nanny for her children was not as effortless as she initially thought. At first, Lisa's presence was like a gift from God. She took the children to school, accompanied them to friends, and helped with chores around the house. One day, Bridget received a text message from Lisa that shocked her and left her devastated. It was the last thing she needed, and the last thing she believed could happen. Lisa sent Bridget a simple text message asking for the money she still owed her and explained that she was not intending on coming back. She didn't give any reasonable explanation, just quit her job there and then. Bridget had no idea what happened to Lisa and what made her flip in such a way. Were the children that demanding? Was she not being paid well? Lisa took her last salary and left. Bridget had to get to the bottom of this but had no idea where to start. More importantly, she had to find a new nanny. In a conversation Bridget had later on with Lisa, Lisa explained that Marie, the 6-year-old daughter, was the problem, that she couldn't handle her anymore. She was an absolute handful. Bridget felt that Lisa's excuse was made up on the spot. Lisa was a professional nanny, and tantrums or misbehavior of a 6-year-old could not be a good enough reason to leave. Bridget wouldn't accept Lisa's response and continued searching for the perfect nanny for her children. Bridget finally found a second nanny, but before she could put the smile back on her face, she quit too. And then the third one came along, and the fourth, and the fifth. After the 6th nanny decided to leave, Bridget knew she had to put an end to this. It sounded like a bad joke or a science fiction movie, but 6 nannies had abandoned her children and she had no idea why. Children can be demanding at times, and hers were no exception. She knew that. But 6 nannies. After hiring 6 nannies and letting them go, Bridget had to do something before welcoming the 7th one into her home and into her children's hearts. She installed hidden cameras around the house that would finally reveal what was going on between her own walls. Unsurprisingly, the path the 7th nanny took was no different than the previous ones. She started to work and within 2 weeks gave in her resignation. No detailed explanation, just saying that it wasn't working out. Bridget was careless as she had her camera. It documented everything, and she was now able to see exactly what was going on. What was caught on camera left Bridget shocked and appalled. The more she watched, the more amazed she became. She couldn't believe what she was seeing and repeatedly went back to the beginning of the film. Was this her Marie she was watching? Was this her daughter in disguise? What is going on here? Bridget suddenly realized that there was more to the former nanny's allegations than she believed. She had realized that there were sides to her daughter that she had never witnessed before. During the first few days with each nanny, 6-year-old Marie was a perfect angel, the same angel Bridget knew and loved. However, as the days went by, the little angel turned into a little monster. A little monster Bridget couldn't recognize. The first vision Bridget had of Marie's behavior was when Meg, nanny number 7, asked for help and Marie replied, "You can't tell me what to do, I'm the boss of you." This new tone of voice and vocabulary Marie had adopted was used on a regular basis with the nannies. She would turn into this little demon every time she was asked to wash her hands, get ready to go out, or turn off the TV. Bridget lost it. She was so furious with her little daughter and wished she would have known about this before. She could have then dealt with it and avoided this from happening with the other nannies. The most difficult part was when she witnessed Marie throwing a tantrum and disobeying her nanny when her baby brother was asleep. This must have made the day extremely challenging for any nanny, even Marry Poppins. Marie carried on by threatening the nanny that she would get her fired. A self-fulfilling prophecy. Bridget knew it was time for a little talk. She sat her daughter down and revealed to her that she has seen her behavior on the camera roll and asked if she thought her behavior was acceptable. She innocently explained that if we pay her, we can tell her what to do, and that if we hire her, she listens to us and not vice versa. Bridget was gobsmacked. Where was little Marie learning this from? Who was teaching her this twisted life logic? Bridget decided to punish Marie and try to teach her a lesson in life. A lesson that would teach her that for every action there is a reaction and everything has a consequence. The following week, Marie was supposed to have a swimming lesson, but there was no one to take her. Bridget accused Marie and balmed her for not having a nanny. Was this a suitable punishment for a 6-year-old? Even though Bridget was frustrated and disappointed, would this really teach little Marie a lesson? Bridget shared her frustration on a social media parenting group, hoping someone would shed some light on the issue. Surprisingly, and in Bridget's favor, the parents who commented on her post made things easier for Bridget to comprehend. One mother claimed that the first nanny wasn't strong enough and had to approach Bridget with what she was experiencing with Marie. Another parent said that Lisa, the first nanny, probably gossiped so badly about the Elks family that the new babysitter entered the house with a set mind on the children. One babysitter also responded to Bridget's post. Bridget was thrilled when she got a professional response from Vicky Broadbent. Vicky was very open and front-forward and explained that maybe Marie was going through a phase, that she was crying out for help in a unique way. Maybe she was feeling that she was losing her position in the household and wanted to secure her spot. Vicky added and wrote that Marie might have felt that no one was listening to her and that no one understood her. Vicky pointed out that Bridget saw disappointment in Marie's eyes, which was difficult for her to accept. Bridget questioned whether her way of handling Marie's behavior and her punishments were effective or beneficial. She realized that instead of punishing Marie by canceling her swimming lessons, she should have explained why a nanny was necessary. Bridget recognized that Marie needed communication in a way she could understand. Instead of expecting her to accept changes, Bridget needed to be more sensitive to her daughter's feelings. She started to feel partly responsible for Marie's behavior and the nanny's leaving, acknowledging that Marie simply wanted time with her mother. Marie wasn't feeling emotionally safe and Bridget wasn't providing that security. After reading Vicky's response, Bridget questioned whether Marie's behavior was acceptable and whether she herself was in the wrong. Vicky's advice changed her perspective. Raising children involves not just teaching good behavior but also truly listening. Listening means understanding both spoken and unspoken words, body language, and helping children express emotions. Vicky emphasized that if children struggle to express themselves, it's the parents' role to guide them. Since even adults struggle with communication, children need extra support in learning how to navigate their feelings. As a parent, you have to slip into your investigator's uniform and dig in deep until you find what you are looking for. You dig in until you reach your child and her needs. Was Bridget really the one misbehaving? Should Marie be cleaned from all charges? Bridget still asked herself how a little girl came to the conclusion that she was anyone's boss. This must have been suggested somehow, as there is no other explanation for a 6-year-old to play the master's role. Marie was too young to understand the relativity between cost, employer, and employee. The incident for sure opened Bridget's eyes. After reading through the responses she got to her post, she Googled things to do before hiring a new nanny and realized there were crucial things she had to do before presenting her children with the new reality. The first step she had to take made her feel really bad. How didn't she know of this before? Sometimes the most simple things in life just slip under your nose. Rule number 1 is digestion time. It's impossible to expect kids to just deal with things. They need time to understand, acknowledge, and accept changes in life. Instead of preparing Marie for the new nanny, Bridget simply announced that on the following day a new nanny would be arriving. What Bridget read is that at least 1 week is needed for a child before major changes occur. They need time to ask questions, time to have a debate, and most importantly, they have to know why. Bridget came across some more useful advice that any parent to any child should consider before hiring a new nanny or babysitter. Make the new nanny part of the family before they even start the job. Invite them for dinner. Meet them in the park. Do any activity you like together with the potential new nanny. This will make it easier for any child to embrace a new person into their lives. The day the new nanny or babysitter arrives will be less tense for the parent and, most importantly, the child. If you chose to invite the new nanny to dinner, make a date out of it, and don't end it once the table is cleared. Get out your favorite games and make it time for Pictionary, charades, or any other enjoyable activity your children have. Not only will this be the first step in the nanny-child relationship, but this will also give you a glimpse of how the nanny interacts with and relates to your child. Give the future nanny a taste of what is expected and what the day is going to be like. Kids don't like surprises, and nannies don't like surprises either. Plan the day as if it was another normal day, but let the nanny take part in what would be her responsibility. This can be preparing dinner, bathing the kids, or reading a bedtime story. Whatever comes to mind, as long as it's part of your daily routine. Kids like it when things are left the same. They like routine. Familiar places keep them calm, and familiar belongings ever calmer. Now you understand why so many kids carry around their blanket until they are forced to send it on its way. When you go out to the park, take a favorite toy car. Planning an outing to the playground? Bring along a favorite book. This will assure the child that things are not as different as they first anticipated, that there might be a new person in their lives, but overall everything has remained the same. The arrival of a new nanny can lead to insecurity when it comes to kids. One way of helping them is by making them feel important and in charge. When the new nanny or babysitter comes for the first visit or first play date, let your child introduce the nanny to the rooms in the house. Let them show her where you keep the snacks in the kitchen and where the towels are in the bathroom. That being said, it's important not to overdo it and define a very clear line as to where the responsibilities end for the child. The last thing you want is a little monster boss bossing the new nanny around as Marie did. This is one of the hardest pieces of advice we can share, as it can get difficult for the child to understand that house rules are house rules regardless of whether their parents are present or not. Your child needs to understand that the new nanny is the new person in charge. Homework has to be done, plates have to be cleared from the table, and no shoes on the sofa. Give your new nanny some credit. She must be trusted, or else there will be no future for your relationship and your children's relationship with her. Although we don't encourage punishment, every now and then some me time is necessary. Your babysitter is allowed to give your child me time, and your child should be aware of this too. Your nanny had to be able to amend unwanted situations, and by giving her the power to do so, you can assure a healthy and secure upbringing. This sums up the new nanny's Bible. This won't promise a life free of aggravation for your child, your nanny, or yourself, but it will for sure give you a good kickstart to a healthy and long-term relationship. Poor Bridget had to learn the hard way and went through more than 6 nannies before realizing she was doing something wrong. Bridget has since learned to explain, listen, and provide a warm, secure, and open home for her children. Remember, the unspoken words are usually the ones most important in life. Don't let them be unheard. The story of how Bridget learned to be a better mother can teach any aspiring parent a thing or two. Thank you for watching. If you like this story, don't forget to hit the like button, subscription, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming stories.